What grading company is the best one to use?
I was curious about like the Paul Skenes because I mean the guy's top dog. It's hot, and I think you were touching on that where it may not be a good buy at this point, right?
Okay, and my second question is about the difference in the grading companies and the price variations.
All right, so let me give you a great piece of advice that took me years to learn, and it'll save you a ton of time and money. Is to not hold. We are live for the Eric Michael Show, and we're doing this on a Wednesday because on Monday we had a slight tech error. So I decided to do this again. Regardless, though, I did go live on Monday on YouTube, and we had a ton of people in there. But I want to give everyone a fair opportunity. I want to do this again, and welcome. So some things I wanted to go over while we let some people join. We have an email going on right now letting everyone know that we're here. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it down below. If you're watching this live, if you're not watching this live, well, then you can't call in. So too bad for you. But let's get this rock and rolling. So I want to show you guys something cool that I did recently. So let me pull this up. And this is a card I sold. And I'm going to share this with you guys, not because it's about the money I made. I want to share with you guys the concept of why I sold this card and how I made money doing it. All right, so let's go here and share my screen. So check this out. So this card I sold of Jackson Chourio, this orange Bowman Chrome PSA 10. I actually sold it, I guess, last month. I thought I sold it this month, but last month. And you can see I netted 12,800. And to show you guys the card, this is the card. If you don't know where I'm on, this is a site called Only Alt that kind of lets you look at comps of cards. They have auctions that end. Actually, the cards that end are pretty good. But to show you guys the card, this is the exact card. This would be another one, but this is the exact card that I sold. There's my sale of $13,766, but I only ended up netting about $12,800 because they took a fee, which I think I actually had a deal struck with them. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because usually they would take a 20% fee, but I had a deal struck with them because I gave them a bunch of cards. And I purchased this card for about $10,000 on Facebook. Okay, I want to share with you guys why. So let me draw this out. Okay, so and I bought this card November, purchased. Yep. So November, I purchased this card for $10,000. All right. So if we head over to Market Movers and we look at Jackson Chourio. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to drive home a point here and help you guys out. So if we look at his Bowman Chrome PSA 10 autograph. So this is his Bowman Chrome PSA 10 autograph. And this is the card in the past 365 days. So what happened with Jackson Chourio, if you see here, it started out really hot. This card right before the season, everyone thought he was the next great player, which he is a great player, but he started out the season not so hot and his value went down. So this card before the season got all the way up to $850 and it fell all the way down to just about $380. That's a huge dip. Whoever bought this card was probably not a happy camper. And then he started to play better and this card started to go up and up and up and up and up. And then my boy Pete Alonso hit a home run and the Brewers lost and the offseason started. And this card flatlined right about here. So this card flatlined at about $500 in the offseason. And the reason I'm showing you this card is because this is a good indicator of his market. And I bought this card right around here when it was at its floor in the offseason. Nobody was talking about him, right? People were buying basketball. People were buying football. And what happens? Well, spring training rolls around the corner. People get excited. And this card that was once $500 now sells for about $700. So that's about a 30-40% return. And all I did, and I'm not recommending to buy $10,000 cards. That's not what I'm saying to do. But all I did was buy this card low in the offseason and just ask yourself, right? If you're buying this card in the offseason and it's flatlined, it's probably not going to go down much, right? There's nothing Jackson Chourio could do that will cause the card to go down. But it could easily go up as the hype starts to build and demand starts to build. And you can see it happen here. And going back to right, this card, so sold in February, and I netted $12,800. So this is a 28% return in November, December, January, February, 4 months. In 4 months, okay? This is the point I'm trying to drive home. So 28% return in 4 months is pretty freaking good. If you went on Wall Street and said to someone, hey, I'm going to make a 28% return in 4 months, nobody would ever believe you. Nobody. I wouldn't even believe you. But if you annualize this return and you make a 28% return every 4 months, that is really, really, really good money, right? If you just do the math, right? And if you take this, right? If you start with let's say you start today, right? Today you have $1,000, and then 4 months from today, if you made a 28% return, you would have $1,280. And 4 months after that, 28%. Let me just do this math. 1.28 times 1280, you'd have 1634. And then 4 months after that, which would be 1 year, 1634. I might just have a calculator pulled up here. 2,091. So if you annualize this return, and I'm going to take this money and do the same, or attempt to do the same thing I just did with football, right? And I start with $1,000. 1 year later, I will have doubled my money if I repeat this over and over again. And honestly, I probably could have made more money, but I was lazy and I just decided to auction the thing. I probably could have sold it for like 13,500 cash if I went about and tried to, sell the card myself. But sadly, I don't have the time to do that, so I wasn't able to. But if I went to a card show and put in a little bit more effort, I probably could have made a little bit more money. But this is insane. And I'm not promising that you're going to make these returns, but this is what's possible if you put your resources, or you put your information, or you put your effort in a market that has a competitive advantage, right? If you have a competitive advantage in stocks, Warren Buffett made a 17% return per year. I'm not saying I'm a better investor than Warren Buffett. I'm just saying the vehicle I'm in is easier to make money than, stocks, because stocks is obviously very, very competitive. So hopefully that makes sense. And let's see, we got some questions coming in here. What's up, Anthony? Anthony, if you have any questions, feel free to call in on that number. That number below. We always like to take callers in. So let's see, we got thoughts on Paul Skenes. So what are my thoughts on Paul Skenes? Well, that's a good question. So is Paul Skenes a purchase? My answer to you, if you were a paying student of mine, or if it was my own money, I would not buy Paul Skenes. And here's why. So let me share my screen here again. And let's go to market movers and let's share this screen. Okay. So let's look up Paul Skenes, right? Paul Skenes, his PSA 10 autograph. Let's see. Okay. That's all over the place. But you could see this card. We have a caller coming in. You can let it rip. Go for it.
What's up, my man? I've been following you for a long time
Cool.
now. I can't say I've been keeping up with your videos. I followed you for probably like the past year and a half now. I want to
Nice.
say I started watching you back probably 2023. I want to say
All
when you were
right.
at the National and stuff.
Sweet.
And I always kept in the game and stuff, but I did want to come in and get your advice because I've been in and out of the game. The game has its ups and downs, and where there's losses and there's wins, you're gonna learn a lot of lessons. But I'm at a place now where I've decided to restart my collection, where I've liquidated everything, and I've decided to find a more proper way of gaining profit, which I just seen you explaining on how you created on that Chourio card.
Yep.
Which is something I like that process of buying a little a little early right after the season, trying to sell right before season, because I can see you can get the dividends there. But I was wondering, obviously there's a certain cards, the chrome refractors. Is there any I wanted to know if there's any other cards in those sets that aren't like the more sought after ones that you found that you can make profit on that aren't as high end price. Like recently, I've came across, they're not the best on returns, but they're better than most on sky blue base refractors because they're not numbered, but they are 1 in 8 packs. They're a little short printed, but they're a little harder to find.
Okay.
So I was wondering if there's any other cards in sets like that to where that they aren't like the the
Yeah,
main.
yeah. I think I know what you're asking. And what is so I know you said so you said that an interesting word you used. You said you want to start up your collection again. By that you mean you want to start, but I'm assuming the goal here is to make money, right? You want to buy and sell sports cards to make an income, right?
Yes, because when basically the collection I had before was mainly just going out there buying whatever was hot at the time.
Got it,
To where
got it.
now I feel like maybe I want to take a different route to where maybe there's prospecting involved. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay, and what's your goal? Like side income? Like how much do you want to make per month?
Well, off of this per month, I wouldn't. I would say I'd like to throw at least $500 per month, and then see what I can make out.
Well, no. What's your goal in terms of how much profit do you want to make per month?
I'd like to make at least 20 to 50%.
Okay. So, so what I just showed you with that Jackson Chourio card, if you want to throw $500 or $1,000 this month, what I showed is actually a terrible idea. So, there's two ways to make money in sports cards, and hopefully this makes sense. There's something I call short. This is just the word. I just came up with this word. It's not an actual word, but short-term investing. What that means is you're buying a card already graded, like that card of Jackson Chourio I just showed you. Paid $10,000 for it. It sat on my desk. I sold it a few months later and made a 28% return. Fantastic. However, you should be buying cards, getting them graded, and reselling them. So, like short-term investing is like in buying cards already graded, in my opinion, at least what I teach. That's for like if you have a budget of like, at least like 10, 15, $20,000. However, in your case, if you have $500 you want to throw at this, I'm buying cards and getting them graded. And specifically, so I know I'm live right now and it might be a little bit delayed for you, but you'll see this in a second. So I'm sharing my screen right here. And this is what I would do if I was in your shoes and I had $500 to buy cards and get them graded. So right now, while we're speaking, it's March and I want to buy football, right? Football's in the off season. I can anticipate it going up some. So, and specifically the newer guys. The newer guys are just going to have more cards to buy, like Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, all those guys, right? So what I would do is I would actually not send cards to PSA. I would send cards to SGC because they come back much, much faster. Even though they sell for a little bit less, you're gonna make a faster return on your money. So just to show you really quick, so if we look at like Donruss, Michael Penix, let's do like Bo Nix, SGC 10. And so if you go to eBay and look at all these SGC 10s and you go to sold items, so you can see like what I would do is I would actually reverse engineer this. So I would see what sells for at least $75 as an SGC 10. So for example, this Optic Hollow Bo Nix sells for about $140 as a PSA 10 or as an SGC 10, excuse me. So what I would do is look at what this card sells for, not as an SGC 10. So just raw Optic Hollow. So you can see this card. Yeah, so this card's no good. I want to at least double my money if I'm buying a card and sending it in for grading. So this card sells for like $86. So I would actually not use this card to get graded. But if we go back to Bo Nix and we look at, let's see, this red Pandora. So this is actually, the red Pandora is where students in my program have made the most amount of money. And this card raw sells for about, yeah, still not enough. Like $95, $90. Yeah, it's still not enough. So what I would do is look at another player like maybe Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels cards sell for a little bit more. And I would look and see, okay, what does a Jaden Daniels Red Pandora SGC 10 sell for? And this does like 250, 260, 270. And this card raw, red Pandora. Let's see what this card sells for raw. So I'm gonna draw this out for you in a second because I know I'm going pretty fast. So this card raw does like, yeah, it's still not enough money. So yeah. So these red Pandoras wouldn't be good. But the point I'm trying to make here is what I would be doing is looking for cards that if I grade them and send them in for grading and they get an SGC 10, I would at least double my money. And you're probably going to want to be looking at like Donruss cards or Optic cards that are like 10, 20, $30 that you could hopefully buy for $20, spend $15, get it graded, And as an SGC 10, it's like 70, 80, 90 bucks. And you could buy a bunch of those cards, get them back very fast, build up your bankroll, then start sending cards to PSA. Because if you just buy a bunch of cards, spend $500, they're just going to be sitting at PSA for 2 months, and you're just going to be sitting with your hands under your butt. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. It's actually funny you say that because I actually have a funny story from back in. I want to say, what was it? When did the Eagles go to the Super Bowl last? 2022 was it? Before this year? I want to say.
Yes. Was it 23? 23,
It
22?
was one of those years, maybe 23. Yeah. So I remember right. I want to say the NFC Championship. I came across Jalen Hurts Prism Black,
Yeah.
green, number to 49. I want to say the Prism Blacks greens were, and there was a sticker auto. It was a SGC 1010. It was his rookie card.
Okay.
It was I bought it during the NFC Championship, mind you. I'm in the South Jersey, Philly area, so
Nice. That's
I
where I'm
thought,
from too.
this is a good place to try to buy and
Mhm.
make a quick flip. And I don't want to say I made them. I mean, I guess you could say I made the mistake because I didn't really lose any money, but I didn't make any money at the same time because that same weekend for the Super Bowl, when they made a Super Bowl, there was a show in Fishtown. I don't know if you know where that's at. And
I'm from North Jersey. I don't know where that is.
Fishtown's in Philly.
Okay.
So it's a Philly show that they usually have at the Rivers Casino, and I took the Hertz up there. I think I paid at the time. I think I paid 1,000 or 1,100, something like that. And there was an SGC 9 on the market, a SGC 9 no, a PSA 9 on the market that just had sold for I want to say like 980 or something. So I thought probably picking up a SGC 1010 at $1,000 or whatever it was a good price. I could go.
Mhm.
They made it to the Super Bowl. I could make a quick flip. And in my head, I thought, it's a 1010. Maybe people will see it. They see the potential in cross grading it. I lost there because at the end of the day, I went through that whole show, that whole day, and ended up getting them basically ass handed to me because nobody really wanted to take
Yeah.
the gamble on it.
So what kind of card was it? Remind me.
It was a Jalen Hurts Prism Black, green, sticker auto rookie card.
Was it like Chronicles?
I believe that's what Prism Black comes out of. Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so there's so many I would like if we can go back in time, there's so many variables that go into that. Like the comp you may have been looking at may have been fabricated because people manipulate comps all the time, and if you're trying to
That's one thing I did learn.
yeah,
Yep.
that's a tricky thing. Looking at comps and looking at like sales of cards is a tricky thing. You have to be able to detect whether something's fake or not. And over time, just this isn't like a good piece of advice, but if you've been in sports cards for a few years, at a certain point, you could just kind of look at a card and be like, I know this sale says the last one did $1,000, but this card doesn't seem like it's worth $1,000 just from my intuition. And you have, let's say, a one of one card that you think is worth $1,000, but the out of five just sold for 200. The one's probably not worth $1,000. So there's so many like different factors to look at when it comes to looking at cards, especially more rare cards. But yeah, so that could have been part of it because the card is pretty solid. It's a liquid card. But you may have just been
Yeah,
you
that's
may have
why.
misvalued it on accident.
Yeah, that's why when I first called you, I asked about what different cards and sets that aren't like the most sought after ones because that's kind of the situation I fell into there where Prism, I didn't understand that Prism Black is a lower
It is. It's still.
value.
I would say it's like second tier to Prism, but it's still
Yes,
solid. But like, just to answer your question, give you like an actionable piece of advice. If you're buying football cards and you want to make money, whether you're getting them graded, whether you're not, or whether you're buying stuff already graded, like the best ones are Donruss, Optic, Prism, Contenders, Optic Contenders. Those are like the main ones. Then there's like National Treasures, but it's really expensive. But to leave you off with something good, actually, I just found while you were talking, I was looking this up. So this like what I would do in your shoes, like this card of Jaden Daniels is a perfect example of something I would buy and get graded. Like you could buy this Bomb Squad Donruss card of Jaden Daniels for like $20. It'll sell all day if you get it graded, and it's $20 raw. And SGC 10 is like 100, and it's gonna cost you like $15 to get it graded, and you can just rip these all day. And if it gets an SGC 9.5, let's see what it sells for as an SGC. An SGC 9.5 is like $30. So this card of Jaden Daniels, right? I'm sharing my screen here. You can purchase for 20, spend 15 to get graded. So your total investment is $35, and an SGC 9.5, you're gonna lose after fees and stuff. You'll lose like $10 to $15, and SGC 10, you're making, you're profiting what? What are you profiting? Like that, like 60ish. So this is a good game to play, and you should be able to get about 60 to 70% of these cards to SGC 10. But hopefully that helps you out. But I do have to let you go. We have some other callers coming in. But any other questions for me?
I want to let you get to the other callers, but I do have one quick question
Let it
because you
rip.
are on the grading topic.
Let it rip.
So I bought during the football season. Well, not during, probably right when the contenders came out last year. I bought a Zay Flowers clear number to 10 jersey number.
Yep.
I bought it for around $200. The market tanked because I never sold. I'm a Ravens fan, whatever the case may
It
be.
happens.
Obviously, I would like to, kind of gain some profit off of it. I'm probably down like $100 on it right now. I bought it for $200. The market's sitting at like 120, 140 from the last sales. So would you, for me to, it's jersey number. That's why I bought it. I don't think I should lose too much money just off the jersey number aspect. But would you suggest me sending it to SGC since that's something you like? A card like that, it's a clear card,
Yeah, that's going to be a tough card to grade. I can't see the card. I don't have a picture. I would kind of need a picture. But my advice to you is probably I would just sell it, cut your losses, take the money, put it into what I just showed you before with the Jaden Daniels stuff.
So the QBs.
Yep. QBs. Receivers are always going to usually go down in value.
Appreciate you, my man.
Yep. You have a good one, dude. Thanks. I appreciate you calling in.
No problem.
All right. Bye-bye. Good questions. We're calling someone back. Hey, what's up? You got Eric. You're live on the Eric Michaels show.
Hey, Eric. How you doing?
How you doing? What's your name?
Ron.
Ron. What's up, Ron? How may I make your day better?
Yeah, it looks like you don't live too far from me. I'm in Lakeland, and I've got kind of a situation.
All right, let's hear it.
A few years ago, I worked in Wyoming and bought a storage unit because I needed a washer and dryer. And back behind this storage unit was probably 8,000 cards.
Okay.
And in really, really good shape.
Nice.
And I don't follow sports not that much at all, but I've been trying to pick up, and I don't know what the priorities would be. I've listened to others and that haven't gotten me too far, and I've got just about all of them in penny sleeves and things like that. But I've been trying to get them listed, and I've got went out and bought the big expensive scanners and some less expensive scanners, but they're just not working for me.
Yeah. So continue.
And they raise they go anywhere from, I've got some really early ones, but most of them go from about 82, 83, all the way up to 2004, 2005. And I really don't know what to do with all of these cards. I just want them gone. And I've had just a few of them. I sent in 50 to the other guys that said they could tell whether they would rate or not. And of the 50 I sent in, I got 7 back, and 5 of them were 10s, and
nice.
The rest of them were 9s and 8s and
so what cards
like that.
Let me ask you a question just so I have an idea.
Yes.
What is, out of those cards you sent in for grading, what is the most expensive one you think? What card is it?
Probably a Tom Brady 10 that came in, and I've got an older Reggie Jackson.
What year is it from? Tom Brady?
I don't have it here in front of me. I think it's 2004.
Okay.
2005 or something like that. But I've got stacks of cards, and I don't follow sports, and I really don't know what to do with all of these. And I've heard of you and your process and things like that, and I'm just trying to get these done without having to go card by card. Which what I've been doing, I've got almost all of them in penny sleeves washed off and in penny sleeves or wiped down and in penny sleeves and just threw the bricks away. Which there weren't many. Really, they're in good shape. Corners look good. All of that stuff.
Got it. Okay, so this is.
But the majority of the ones that I have, unless they're really big names, I wouldn't know if they're valuable or
this
not.
Is what I'll do. This is what I'll do to help you out. So I'll give you two pieces of advice. First piece of advice: most of that stuff from the 80s and 90s is worthless. The only stuff that's worth a considerable amount of money is like 90s basketball, unless you have like stuff from the 80s and 90s that's in perfect condition. So like 90s basketball, like famous guys, like or like 80s basketball famous guys like Michael Jordan, like guys of those names could be worth a lot of money. However, that's not really going to help you out because you don't really follow sports. So do this. So the same phone number you just called me on, take a picture of a bunch of cards that you think are valuable and text them to that phone number. This phone number also texts as well. And I'll personally respond to you within like an hour or two. But I just need to see what you have to be able to help you out. But generally speaking, it sounds like if you have some Tom Brady stuff, I mean, any Tom Brady stuff from the early 2000s is going to be worth something. So take a picture of the cards you got graded and some other cards that you think are valuable and just send them over to this number.
Okay. There's a lot of them.
Just send whatever you think is the most valuable.
Yeah, I got binders full of I'm trying to send off 30 Ken Griffey Juniors right now that are all really in good shape.
Yep. I just need to see it. So just send over what you got, and I'll personally help you out. Because it's dependent on not only the card but the condition. But it sounds like you actually have some decent stuff. And hey, if it makes sense, either A, I could meet up with you to help you sell it. B, I could buy it from you. But I'll help you out so you could make as much money as possible. So you probably wouldn't want to sell it to me because I'll lowball you. But I could put you in touch with a buyer who can give you a strong offer for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, but just text me over what you think is the most valuable.
Okay. You'll get some texts here today. Probably quite a few.
Sounds like a plan. I'll be looking forward to it. Appreciate it, Ron.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? This is Eric. You're live on the Eric Michael Show.
Hey, what's up, man? I've been meaning to get hold of you, man. I'm a pretty busy guy. I work a lot out of town, stuff like that. I've been collecting for a long time. Man, I got a bunch of guys. I know what I'm looking at when it comes to cars. I know the grading processes. I know the scales. I know all that.
Yep.
I got a lot of nice cars right now that I'd like to send off to get graded.
Okay.
But I've been what grading company is the best one to use, you think?
PSA.
PSA? I mean, what about SGC? Are they all right?
If you have a bunch of SGC is only good if you're like kind of broke and you're looking to make quicker money, because those cards will come back to you faster. But a PSA 10 is always going to outsell an SGC 10, unless it's vintage stuff, like vintage stuff from like the 50s and 60s and later. They actually sell pretty similar. But if it's modern cards, PSA is always going to outsell SGC.
Okay. All right. So, because I'd like to get into this, man. Because like I do construction. I'm busting my ass off right now. I'm about to tear out concrete right now for a living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I collect a lot, and I got a lot of nice cars. I got numbers Wimbies. I got Jaden Daniels. I got a bunch of cars, man. Like that would be I would not know would grade a 9 to 10 higher. You know what I mean? Like I know for a fact. I mean, all the centering's good. I mean, everything like that. So I just don't have a lot of time, and I would like to personally get in touch with you, maybe where I can get one-on-one with you, where I can show you these cards and tell me what you think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let me give you some advice here. So is your goal one is I'm assuming your goal is to make money with sports cards to either get out of construction or work less.
I'm done. I'm done collecting because I collected enough to where I know I can get into it and make some money now.
So you're saying that you have a bunch of cards already valuable and you just want to get them graded and sell them to get cash, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and then what types of
Yes.
if you had to take a guess, what is the most valuable card you have on you?
Let's see. I got a I got a Wimby on the card. It's just number 90. It's numbered to 99. But still, it's a good card. I mean, it's in perfect condition. I got a Steph Curry. Uh, I got a Genesis card, a Scoot Henderson rookie card. I got high voltages of Luka Doncic. I mean, I got so many. I got pictures on my phone. I could probably take a. I could. I'm out of town right now, but I still got a lot of pictures of my cards. Like some cards of I got, I could actually probably send. I heard you say something about sending them to that number. Like I got a Jaden Daniels Topps card I pulled the other day, dude. It's just immaculate. Like it is in
Gotcha. So
perfect
let
condition.
me do this. This will be the best way to help you out. I'm taking down your phone number right now. Remind me your first name again?
It's Curtis.
Curtis. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to have so the best way for me to help you, either me or one of my coaches, I'll have them reach out personally and go over everything with you. So
Okay.
so we can help you to the best of your ability. Or the best
Yeah,
of
how
our
about
ability.
could that be in the evening time sometime after 5 so I ain't working? Could that be possible?
Yeah, what time zone are you in?
Like anytime in the evening, like after 5 o'clock, 5 p.m.
What time zone are you in though? Eastern time, Central time?
Oh, I'm in Ohio, so I mean it's 10:30 here.
Okay, yeah, so Eastern time. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I will so I'll have someone reach out and just my advice to you while you're here. So the best piece of advice I can give you if you want to either quit your job or work less at your job is take the cards you already have, get them
Yeah.
graded, get cash, and then take that cash and put it into what I teach by buying cards, getting them graded and turning those cards over and over again. That would be my best
Okay.
piece of advice.
Okay.
Start with
Yeah.
it.
I signed up one time to do your class, and I just got too busy and I wasn't able to make it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll have someone reach out so you don't need to watch the video. You could just talk with a coach one on one, so it saves you time.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, that sounds good, man. And then that sounds great, man. And I know I got a picture of that Jaden Daniels, so I'm definitely gonna take. I'm gonna show you that picture of that. I'm
Hey,
gonna send you a picture of this text number just so you can look at it. I love the card. It's
that
nice.
sounds like a plan. Send it over. I'll take a look at it and try to help you.
All right, buddy. I hope I hear from you soon.
All right, Curtis. Be safe out there. I'll talk with you soon.
Yep. Later. Yep.
All right. Sorry. Bye. Another one. A lot of callers today.
Hi.
Hey, you got Eric. You're live on the Eric Michael Show.
Hey, Eric. Hi, it's Anthony. So I'm somewhat new. I just started following you maybe the last 2 months, and it's been really fun.
Sweet.
Just I have three quick questions.
Yeah,
I'll
go
be
for
quick
it.
on it. One,
You're good. Go.
I understand the scoring with SGC and all that. I got to say though, the Beckett one, I just really like how they present it. You know, when they rate the corners and everything, but I guess they're not really the top ones to go with.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that your question?
Well, no, my question was I sent the message in earlier. I was curious about like the Paul Skenes because I mean, the guy's top dog. It's hot, and I think you were touching on that where it may not be a good buy at this point, right?
All right. So, Anthony, first off, you got to be from New Jersey or New York, right? With that accent.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Figured. Italian from Jersey.
There you go. No, New York.
New York. Okay, got it. All right, so let me give you a great piece of advice that took me years to learn, then it'll save you a shit ton of time and money. So this is and you probably have already seen me say this, but I'll reiterate it anyways. So this is the way sports cards works. Baseball season starting April 1st. There's a lot of hype and excitement. Like I don't know if you were watching this live before earlier, but like I just sold a card on Jackson Chourio. He's up like 30-40%. And a lot of these baseball players will go up in value as we get closer to the season. The season starts, and what happens is most players just don't perform up to expectations. So what'll probably happen with Paul Skenes, either A, he'll probably, unfortunately, get injured, or the Pirates stink because they're okay, I guess. But the hype will die unless Paul Skenes ends up being, the next freaking Shohei Ohtani or this incredible pitcher, which is as great as Paul Skenes is. The reality of sports is just almost every single time, most players don't perform up to expectation. It's just how sports goes. Like, go back though. Do you follow football?
A little bit. More hockey though.
Okay, more. Hockey's not that great of an example, but like, okay, do you know who like C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson are?
Yeah.
Okay, so like last year before the football season started, these guys were like the shit. Like, there is no way any of these guys could fail. Their cards were selling sky high. Guess what? So I'll show you. Actually, instead of just guessing, I'll just show you. So my screen might be a little delayed on your end, but C.J. Stroud.
Okay. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm catching up. I got you.
Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen as well, but it'll be a little delayed for you. But C.J. Stroud, his Silver Prism PSA 10 before the football season started was about $900. Today, that same card is worth about $360. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here is, and C.J. Stroud had a pretty solid year. Like, he made the playoffs. They won their first game of the playoffs and lost against the Chiefs, and his value still went down a third. Just, it's so hard to keep up with that hype and excitement. So my advice to you, my money-making advice, I'm sure the goal is to make money, is to not hold baseball into the season. Maybe one prospect, maybe two will go up in value. The rest will tank. It happens every single year. And you could just go back a year ago, Jackson Holliday, who's a great prospect, Matt Holliday's son, he was like the man. He came in the league. He ended up going 1 for 30, I think his first 30 at-bats or something like that, and his value plummeted. And now that his cards are worth half of what they once were. So hopefully that helps you out. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So so if I have some of these Paul Skenes in great condition, do I just like hold on to it till next season? It's not worth trying to grade and sell right now.
Oh, yeah. If you already have them, grade them and sell them ASAP. Just sell them in the beginning of the season. But for the future, when you're buying cards and getting them graded, like right now, you want to buy football and sell it in like June, July, and August. Like before the football season starts. And then when baseball rolls around again, so you want to be buying baseball in November, December, getting these cards graded, and now selling them in like February, March. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so that's that'll save you a lot of money. A lot of money. It cost me a ton of money. So yeah, just because the reality of sports is most guys don't pan out. It's just how it goes.
All right, well, thanks, sir. I appreciate the time. Great show.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it, Anthony.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. We got another one?
Hey, Eric. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
No problem. What's your name?
My name is Paul.
Paul, what's up, Paul? How may I make your day better?
Hey, thank you. I'm just calling in to see. I've been grading a lot of cards recently, and I was wondering if you had a preference while you were going through the grading experience yourself, if grading downtowns and kabooms and high value cards, maybe like Prism Golds out of 10, maybe not this year's Prism, but other years where they have a higher gem rate percentage.
Yep.
Versus grading lower end stuff, like optic rated rookies that grade really well, and then just doing a numbers game.
Yep. It's a great question, and I have a perfect answer for you. So this is the way sports cards goes. Okay. Most people in sports cards are opening up packs and boxes and cases. Make sense? So
yes.
So when you start getting into cards that are worth $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, the people that are buying and selling those cards are usually like sharks. These people know what they're doing, and they're out there to make money, right? If you're spending $2,000 on a card, you probably know what you're doing, right?
Right.
So as opposed to buying cards at like $50, $75, $100, the people selling those cards are just opening up boxes and cases. They don't want to be bothered grading those cards. They don't care to make $100, $150, okay? So if you take, two things to this equation. So if you take 100 cards that are worth $1,000 each and just random on eBay, $1,100 cards versus 1,000 cards that are $100. So you take two different sets of cards. I could almost guarantee you that a much higher percent of the $100 cards will grade a 10 than the $1,000 cards. Because the $1,000 cards on eBay, they're not graded for a reason. As opposed to $100 cards, people don't give a shit to grade them. They don't want to be bothered. They don't care about it. They just want to get rid of it, get cash, and put it into more boxes, cases, and breaks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes perfect sense.
So you're gonna
appreciate it. And I just said,
Oh,
I just have another
one more thing
quick question, if that's all right.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah,
one more thing to add to that that'll help you out. So, also, when you buy $100 card, not always, but usually, you can come close to like 2.5 to 3 times in your money. Because when you go and grade a card that's a 10, and let's say it's worth $300 now, you have like, and let's say it's a card of Bo Nix. A Bo Nix collector, there's way more than that could afford a $300 card as opposed to a $3,000 card. So when you grade a card that's $1,000, you'll like maybe 2 times your money. But a lower end card, you're gonna 2.5 to 3 times your money if you know what you're doing. So you're making a higher profit margin by buying lower end cards, and a higher percent of them would grade. So the point I'm trying to make here is I would rather buy 10 $100 cards than one $1,000 card because you'll usually make money with buying 10 $100 cards because higher percent profit margin, and also they're easier to grade.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
That makes perfect sense. Makes logical sense.
What was your? Yeah, it's and it's funny because I say it out loud and it's like, oh shit, that just makes sense. It's logical, but it took me like 4 years to realize that.
Most people don't have that
Yeah.
much money in their bank account, so it would make sense that lower end cards will sell quicker and easier and
Yeah, exactly.
more abundantly.
Right, and just think logically, right? If you buy a card and get it graded, a Bo Nix, and let's say it's graded a 10, who are you selling that card to? Well, probably a Bo Nix collector, someone that wants to invest in Bo Nix, thinks he's a good player, and just you're going to create a much bigger bidding war for a lower end card because way more people can afford it, right? So it increases the profit margin percentage.
Right. That actually kind of goes into my next question.
Well, cool.
Where listing on eBay and selling your cards, do you, for higher end cards, would you start it at $1? Like, I know March is spring training time for baseball. I bought some baseball cards. Like I bought a couple of Jackson Merrills at a 25, Jackson Merrill Bowman Gold PSA 10. I bought those for good deals in November. Would you start it at $1? Or would you just list it and then field offers?
Yeah, if I am selling cards on eBay, I'm starting it at $1 because people. Okay, this is like I hate people that do this. And sorry if you do this. So if you start a card at, let's say the card's worth $500, and you start at $300, the card is going to sell for what it's worth. It's probably going to sell for around $500 still. But would you just ask yourself this question? If you start a card at $1, and let's say the card's ending in 30 minutes, and because you started the card at $1, you have 60 bidders, and the card's at $500. Versus if you started the card at $300, you have like 5 bidders, and it's at $300. If you're someone looking at this card to bid, would you rather see it at 60 bids or 5 bids? 60 bids, people are gonna be like, oh wow, this is a card people really want, and it's gonna create a much bigger bidding war because you can see how many bids there are on eBay. So
absolutely, you're selling. You're selling the hype. You're selling the sizzle, not the steak, essentially.
Yes, and also eBay's algorithm, like the way social media works, and like eBay is these platforms look at posts or auctions or whatever, and whatever has the most engagement, they bump to the top. So just like on Instagram, right? If you have a reel that goes viral, has a lot of likes and lots of comments, Instagram pushes it in front of people's faces. eBay does the same thing, right? They're much more likely to put your card that has 60 bids to the top as opposed to 5 bids.
I was unaware that eBay also had an algorithm. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, they push stuff, and they want stuff on their platform to sell for as much as possible because they get a cut, right? So they push stuff to the top.
Hey, I appreciate it, and also I just want to shout you out and let you know you're huge for the resale certificate. Getting the tax exempt status is huge, just because it saves so much on sales tax if you're just buying and reselling.
Yeah, dude, it's game changing. You save so much money with the resale. Are you in the are you in the program?
I'm not in the program, no, but I've been following you since you started. And
you sound like you
I mean, you just dropped so much knowledge. I think anyone out there really can really just make money following you, and it's just great advice. You always keep it real with everybody. I think I asked you a question a couple of days ago about why you chose to proceed with MLP versus just continue flipping cards. And then, you're like, well, there's a higher percentage of me making, a 7-figure business versus, limiting yourself to, a couple, maybe 10,000 a month or whatever it is. And so, I always appreciate you and appreciate your honesty. And honestly, if I could afford the course that you offer, I would have enrolled yesterday.
Yeah.
The price is a little steep for me, so I'm just like building, I guess, my bankroll so that I have money in order to enroll in your course
Yeah.
because I like the fact that I can buy cards, send it into people who will look at it and, immediately know if it's going to be a 9, it's going to be a 10, maybe prep it, send it, get it back, and then help me list it on eBay because that just sounds like it's such a efficient time.
Yep. Yeah,
You're using your time so
that's the
efficiently.
whole
Yeah.
goal of So wait, I gotta ask though. You said you've been following me since the start.
Yeah.
So you've been following me since March. I think we started MLP March of 2020.
Not that far.
Okay, not that
So
far. I was just curious.
probably 2 years ago.
Okay, it's like 2 years ago. Well, 2 years ago is when we started posting a lot of content, so there wasn't much to follow in March of 2020. And then, so what I would say to you with the whole course thing, so one, you're correct, right? You spend money on a program or a course or coaching to save you time and make you more money, right? That's the whole point of coaching. Like all the stuff in my program and course, probably not all of it, but a lot of it you could find somewhere online, but you're paying money, so it's in an organized fashion. You have a coach that's telling you what to do, so it saves you a lot of time, makes you money. However, yeah, I wouldn't join the program I would not join the program if it's going to affect your buying. So like keep buying and grading, and if you have an extra few grand to invest to spend on cards, just sitting around, because that's what we want people to have before they get into the program, then do it. But if things are going well and you're making money with sports cards, don't join the program yet. Wait till you have an extra few grand laying around you don't know what to do with, because that's what we would require people to have to join the program. So just as a heads up.
Okay, and then also speaking about your program, I mean, I watched your, I think it's like an hour-long video after clicking your link after getting set up.
Yep, the webinar. Yep.
The webinar. And so I love the fact that you said you had people that would be able, like, you are very good at facilitating relationships with virtual assistants so that they were able to look for cards for you based upon your search criteria. And then you're also really good at getting those cards sent to people who can prep them and grade them for you. And so I was wondering if when I buy into the program, would I be able to take advantage of those services? And if so, how much would they cost?
Yeah, so this is actually something I don't talk about a lot. So we call it a card finder, but what it is, it's a virtual assistant. And for those people watching right now that don't know what a virtual assistant is, it's an overseas employee, a lot of the times in the Philippines, that you can pay $3 to $4 an hour, which in the Philippines is more than minimum wage, and they'll go out and find cards for you. So, right, one of the most time-consuming parts of sports cards is actually finding cards, right? But if you have someone that does it for you for $3 an hour, it's pretty good. So I could share my screen and show this with you. So this is an old sheet of a card finder. This is what it looks like. So basically, at the end of every day, your card finder fills out an Excel sheet of cards that they think are buying worthy, and they'll put on there the links. So you can go right to it, the sold price, the comps, all that stuff, and it just saves a lot of time, makes you a lot of money. So yeah, inside of the program, we just walk you step by step exactly how to this is the document to give to your card finder to train them. This is where to find them. This is how to make a job posting. It's very step by step and it's very simple. But
I love it. It's like buying into like a McDonald's franchise. It's already set up. It's good to go. All you have to do is just buy in, learn the process a little bit, and you're good to go.
Yep, it's called. Yeah, it's almost like the word people use in the world of like my world of digital marketing is it's like a licensing program. You're just copy and pasting everything I've done the past 10 years because like I hate to like get on here and try to like sound like I'm selling my course, but it's after every video there's a document below it with exact step by steps on exactly what to do. You could save it and you just copy and paste what I've done for years. So it's like it's almost like a licensing program is the word. We just like to make it.
I mean, and it's worth it, And again, I'm just trying to get up to have my bankroll to where like I have, let's say an extra $10,000 just laying around. I can purchase the course. I can use that service, and then it'll help facilitate things, get things moving quicker, so that I can make more profit.
Yeah. If you have an extra, I would say you wouldn't need 10. Like if you have an extra like $3 to $4 grand, that'll take you a long way with what we do. But yeah, I wouldn't, like I said, don't give us money if it's going to affect your like buying. So keep buying and doing your thing. And then once you have that extra few grand laying around and you don't know what to do with it, then come to us and you can give it to us, give us some money, and then copy our program.
Absolutely.
Copy what we do.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Eric, man. You drop so much knowledgeable content all the time. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, dude, for sure. It'll keep coming. But I appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
I'll keep watching.
Sounds good. You have a good one.
Hi, Eric. This is Dan.
Dan, what's up, Dan? Nice to meet you.
Not much. Stuck in a basement. Anyways, my question is on timing. So I went in 2023 heavy on Will Levis.
Oof.
And yeah. And a lot of my slabs came back late after the season started, and he already started to tank. So I have case hit cards like the Prism Reds, the red or the green cracked dices, all 10s.
Yeah.
But do I sit and see if he actually does something so they go up at being rookies, or do I just unload them?
Unload them. Cut your losses. That's the best. That's what I would do if I was in your shoes. We've all been there. I actually made a bunch of money on Will Levis. I sold it before the season, but I forgot to sell one, and I'm probably gonna lose a bunch on it. But yeah, it's just a hard lesson to be learned, and I have learned that lesson multiple times before I realized how like timing the market works. But yeah, unload them is my best advice because it's most likely just going to continually go down.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that submission I did because I got like half of my cards back, and then some were delayed. So I got like 2 shipments of cards in.
When did you send them out last year? Like what month?
Oh, I was sending stuff. First shipment I sent out was in January.
January, and it took all the way
It
till
took forever. Yeah,
wow,
it took
holy
forever.
crap.
Like I swear to God, they lost them.
That's terrible. They probably
and
did.
my second shipment I sent out was in April. So
Jesus, wow, man, that's terrible.
and on top of it, one of them that came back, it came back a 7, and I'm like, that's not a 7, and I cracked it something SGC and got it back as a 9.5.
Yeah, we've seen like I mean that was last year. Obviously, we've been getting cards back like 4 to 6 weeks a lot of the time with the lowest end service, the bulk service.
Yeah, I use different services. So like my son uses or does Pokemon and stuff, and he really likes Degree because he likes their gray or their slabs the way they look. Anything I resale, I'm going to resale is either SGC or PSA. But if I PC I plan on PC anything, I send them to VCG just because I like their slabs more.
Yep, that's
They're
fair.
more cosmetically pleasing.
That's fair.
But I know I'm not going to get rid of them.
yeah, that's fair. So I guess what is your question with timing?
So, what would you say? Ideally, the latest time or latest month to submit anything that you plan on reselling. Only because I got bit on this one.
June. If you want to be conservative, June 1st. Stop. But yeah, you're a weird case. Like even last year, I mean, I wasn't seeing things taking like 4 or 5 months. Like right now, we've been seeing like 4, 6, maybe 8 weeks. If it's long, there's randomness to it. But yeah, you just got unlucky. They probably lost your cards, to be honest. That's what it sounds like.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's what I think happened.
Yeah.
Where I got unlucky because it was in the cards they lost were only Will Levis cards.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I got the ARs and CJs, all that back, just not Will Levis.
Did you make money on them?
I made on my CJ stuff. I made about 300 on my ARs, and I made about 7. I didn't have really big stuff.
Okay, so you see
still,
the process.
Still,
you see the process works. It's just you just got unlucky, and yeah, I mean, I have been there, my friend. I've been there, so
I'm a breaker, so I'm selling to other people, and then I buy my own, and I like the community with the breaking. Cool. I met a lot of cool people that way. Just I don't get into them.
Nice. Well, my advice to you is stop June 1st.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Cool.
And I'll continue to watch and listen.
Sweet. Any other questions? Just let me know.
I will be. Well, thank you.
Bye.
What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up? You got Eric here?
Yeah, it's Anthony.
Oh, what's up, Anthony?
How's it going?
It's going well. It's going better now that you called in.
No, I just wanted you to shed some light on maybe I know it's not your forte, but maybe a little bit of hockey.
Yeah.
On what you are thinking of the new rookies on Hutson, Celebrini, and then compared to maybe last year's rookies like Kaprizov, Stutzla. And
okay.
what you think?
Yep.
Go ahead.
So hockey. Okay, so you're talking about like Lane Hutson?
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
So
So I'm not too up to date with the hockey stuff. I haven't bought a hockey card in a while. But my advice to you: when did Young Guns come out?
their Young Guns came out just now
Oh,
for celebrating
it
Hudson.
just came
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Oh,
for
okay.
Hudson and them. Yeah, so this is their first. Yeah, and then Series 2's box came out now too. Also, so now you have Series 1, Series 2. Extended Series will have probably, but like Rempe, all the names that we see right now, they're out right now. So
Yeah,
Celebrini just came out.
I wonder what
Yeah.
Rempe will sell for. I'm curious to see what he sells for. But yeah, my advice to you.
It was more about the card base. It was more about like the cards. So like how because obviously I'm in the program,
Yep.
and just let everyone know it's real. I just want to let everyone know.
It's not a
It's a lie.
scam.
It's not a scam, guys. I was critical, like everyone maybe is. I'm a business owner, but it's real. Eric and the team does a tremendous job by walking you through it step by step. So it's pretty much for you to fall on your face by yourself, but it's very hard to do that because it's legitimately. Well, they walk you through it. They hold your hand and they're walking you through it. Phone call, reminders, everything.
That's our motto.
So
Our motto is we make this so you cannot screw it up.
Correct.
I always tell people like selfishly, like unselfishly, we want people to make money, and selfishly, like you, for example, Anthony, we want you to make money because guess what happens when you make money? Well, you leave us good reviews, testimonials, and all that, and we make more money, right? So it's a win-win.
Correct. No, yeah, and again, just and I'm not. I didn't call for that reason, but I do have to say that because again, I was critical, and you know that, and yeah, it definitely is. It might sound too good to be true, but it's not. But you have to put work in, and so I don't want everyone to think that's it. There's work to be put in, but yes, it's a plan that Eric and the team, basically Eric in the beginning, has evolved and he keeps evolving, but it's a plan, and he doesn't micromanage his team. He has his coaches and everything, and that's it. It's just,
well, I appreciate it, Anthony. People are gonna think I paid you to say that, but let's
nah,
go.
definitely not.
Let's answer
Yep.
your question. So this is Young Guns, and Young Guns every single year, it's almost like the same thing. Like the corners are always messed up. So if we look here at this card, so the back corners on these cards, because they're white, won't be that bad. It's these front top corners. So it's probably a little delayed on your end, so you're not going to see it. But you want to make sure these top front corners are like sharp right angles. So if I was looking here and I'm just looking, let's see if I could find. Okay, like a card like this. I know you're a little delayed, but this is a card that I would say has a high chance of grading. You can see there's some edge chipping right here, so I'd have to look at it, get a better picture. But in terms of those corners, you can see they're like sharp right angles, and it's hard. It's not so easy to find this, but if you do, you can make some pretty serious money. Like you'll like triple to quadruple your money on cards like this. So in terms of Young Guns, it's very similar every year. They don't make it too easy to grade. I don't know the exact population report, but I would imagine like 30% of them get a 10. But that's what you want to look for. Those top two corners. But then on the flip side, it's kind of like Prism this year. It's, you obviously have a competitive advantage since you're inside the program. You have a coach to work with. But if you could buy, a bunch of them and get 50% of them to grade a 10, you're making a lot of money. Which would be my goal if I was buying those. So those top two corners is what's going to be the dagger and what you want to look at.
Okay, and then one more question.
Yep.
Because you also then have the Future Watch autos, which I'm big on. I have, which there's retros between there's the retro ones that they're not worth as much money. Those are not at a $9.99. You would think the lower number ones are more expensive. They're not. So the ones at $9.99 are the true Future Watch autos. Then you have the ones that have 100.
Yep.
Which are those are the jerseys, Future Watch auto patches.
Yep.
I know. Speaking with the coaches, speaking with Mo and yourself, I know, and I have, Dylan Guther, Future Watch auto patches, Wyatt Johnson, Future Watch auto patches, and their Future Watch autos. I know the patches because they're 130, size, and the patches are hard to grade. So
and then with the 99 Future Watch autos, do you suggest just grading those and then with the autograph not grading it because it's already, or just authenticating it because it's already
Yeah, I wouldn't
known
get
by?
the autograph if there's any type of hesitation, I would not grade it. But honestly, if I was buying hockey, I would probably put my money into Young Guns. There's a much better bang for your buck. And the Future Watch autos are almost basically just as hard to grade because they're like thicker cards, but they're like less liquid. Like hockey's not like, as big as football, but
Yeah, of course.
the Young Gun stuff will sell. So like if I was in your shoes, honestly, I would be looking at the Young Guns.
Okay. And then so I know you say no clear cuts, but I don't know if you all right. But I know. But now if I have an upper deck clear cut that's straight from upper deck and like a redemption card or things like this.
Yeah.
How could it grade? I'm trying to understand how could it grade bad? Because of misprint?
The surface. Has scratches on the surface, those clear cut autos, and then the corners. But it's the surface that gets messed up pretty easily. But if it has a clean surface, hey, send it in, especially if you already have it.
Okay. But but even like a thicker card from a redemption just came in, so I got a Cole Sillinger Future Watch auto patch,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got Brendan Schneider, Matty Beniers Future Watch auto. That's has the upper deck tag on top of everything because it's straight from upper deck and it didn't get opened. Still there. So the PSA takedown. Oh no, it's got to go on a one touch, obviously, but
yeah.
because of that.
One, if you're sending it in, keep it in the seal. Don't take it out of the seal, and because it should increase your chances of getting a 10. And then
it will. So I could do that. Put that in the one touch, or just send it that way.
Send it how it is, sealed.
Okay.
Yeah, send it how it is, and the way it can get damaged is like these cards, like come from like a factory. So
yeah,
when they're cut off the factory line, just some cards like come with dimples in them. Some cards just get a little touched up when they're being messed with when putting into a case. Just cards do get messed up. So yeah, keep it in, and you already have them, so I would send it in for grading. But you could just send it to your coach, and he'll let you know what to do. But keep it in the sealed case.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem,
All
Anthony.
All right, talk to you.
All right,
later.
Appreciate the kind words.
Definitely. Bye.
All right, later. Sweet. Is there another?
Hello.
Hey, you got Eric. You're live.
Hey, what's up, Eric? How are you? My name's John. I'm a newer listener. Really
John,
enjoying the content.
How may I make your day just a little better, John?
So, I'm curious of how you feel about sending base rookie cards to grading, and the reason I'm asking is because I'm looking at the recent rookie quarterbacks like McCarthy, Daniels, like that, that group of quarterbacks, and they fall to the criteria of if they do grade out of 10, they are making more than double of the investment of the cost of the card plus the grading.
Yep.
So I was just, I don't have the cash flow for the bigger cards, so I was just thinking of ways to create a cash flow to be able to get to the bigger cards, and that seemed like a good avenue, but I wanted to hear your thoughts.
What's your budget for buying cards? How much cash you got laying around or credit?
We'll call it like maybe $1,000. Like I put that to the side to to start seeing what I could do.
Okay. So this would be my advice to you. So, okay, let me show you something. Hold on, let me just share my screen and pull something up. It might be a little delayed for you, just as a heads up. But
yeah, that's okay.
So I want to show you something. So when you say base card, check this out. So this is a card of CJ Stroud. This is his base Prism PSA 10. His base. Now, if you look here in March, this card was like 160. And actually, as we got closer to the season, this card actually went down in value. It was like $86, $90 by the time the season was about to begin, like $90. So it actually went down as we got closer to the season. And the reason is because it's such a common card. The population report, there were more 10s, more 10s, more 10s. And because the supply was so high, it just went slowly down over time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. The more coming out at 10s,
Yes.
They're not rare, we'll call them anymore. They're everywhere.
However, if you were to look at let me just pull this up. Let's see if okay. So however, another card of CJ Stroud from last year, his green prism, it's a very common card. But it actually didn't go really up or down from now to the beginning of the season. It kind of stayed the same. It was once it came down after the product release, it was $290, and right before the season started, it was still $290. So colored cards are always gonna most likely stay the same or go up a little bit. They're collectors of CJ Stroud or JJ McCarthy or whoever are always going to, not always, but they're just more preferred. So I would still buy lower end stuff, but I wouldn't buy the base. I'd look for lower end colored prisms. So for example, I could tell you the card that students in my program, I've taught I've had over 3,000 students join my program at this point. And I could tell you the number one card that people have made money on ever inside my program is this one on my screen, this disco orange from Prism. These cards are easy to grade. They're 20, 30, 40 bucks. You're tripling your money, honestly, a lot of the time. And they sell faster than you could ever imagine.
Okay, is that the same thing with orange laser, or just specifically the disco?
Orange disco is a little different, but it's the same thing. They're both really good.
Okay,
You can make a lot of money on them.
Yeah, I know the two cards. I'm just saying that you could apply the same logic to it, with that card.
Yep.
Okay.
You could apply.
All right, yeah, that
makes
sense. That makes sense, man.
Yeah, lower end colored stuff of optic, prism, that stuff is the money maker. And they're okay. They're not too hard, they're not too easy to grade. And yeah, that stuff sells like hotcakes, faster than you could ever imagine.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Makes a lot of sense, dude. Thank you.
Sweet. No problem. Yeah, any other questions, just feel free to call in.
Yep, always, man. Thank you. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Later. Wait, is there another one? One more. We're going. We're moving.
Hey, how are you?
How are you? What's your name?
Chase. How are you?
Chase, how may I help you, Mr. Chase?
Well, so I recently got signed up with you guys, and
sweet.
We did the discovery call, whatever.
Yep.
Sitting here looking at the contract, about to finalize it.
Cool.
But I wanted to pick your brain on this because I didn't feel completely satisfied with this answer.
Yeah.
But my background is in trading card games. I've been doing that for about 10 plus years now.
Yep.
I do between 200 and 400K a year in revenue on that.
Nice.
With a similar structure to what we're suggesting. But my challenge has always been scaling. That seems like something that you guys are having, a plan in place with outsourcing.
Yep.
My question though is the challenge that I've always come to, right? The main purchase point of customers is between $100 and $500, on average. That's where the majority of sales are. So eventually you kind of reach the limit, like I mentioned, of how many cards you can sell.
Okay.
Really to get to that 400K. So I wonder, now that we're in that realm of we're doing well, should I instead focus more on a swing instead of a consistent grind? Does that make sense? Focusing on a 10K play that maybe takes 4 months to mature, or maybe a 1 to 5K range.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? What I'm asking? That way I'm not grinding for the same percentage margin but lower dollars total.
Yep. Okay. And so you're doing, what did you say, 200 to 400K in Pokemon cards or TCG cards you're selling per year at the moment?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on what year it is. This year is obviously good for trading card games.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
It's really good. And then what is? Oh, what was I just gonna ask? And then are you in which program are you in? Academy or Accelerator?
I'm not sure yet. I just finished the discovery call yesterday. And
Okay.
got the contract email.
Got it. Okay. So this is, and then, so 2 to 400K. And then what was your profit margin on that about? Like how much money did you actually make?
Yeah. So trading card games again is way different. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're after all costs are considered, complete net profit, you're looking at, 20%.
Okay. And then,
It's pretty standard.
yep. And then what's your goal? Like when you say scale, where do you want to scale to?
Well, I want to not be completely buried. I'm kind of a workaholic, so I tend to, like, if I have room on my plate, I pile more on.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have room for more on my plate right now, so I want to get more efficient and kind of focus, like I said, on getting some sort of scale in place where either it's taking less time and we're doing the same thing, or I'm focusing on those bigger plays and we're growing that revenue, even profit percentage.
Yeah. So
During the discovery call, they mentioned 60% profit margins. I feel like that's hard based on my experience, but I know that there's a different kind of plan in place that you guys are following.
Yep. So, okay. So the Pokemon stuff, if it's working, keep doing it. I've seen people are you grading Pokemon cards or are you just buying and flipping?
Yeah, that's my main play, is very similar to what we're looking at here.
Okay.
We're looking for gradability, and then we're also looking at pop reports to kind of give you the best percentage chance of that, 10 getting back, and then focusing on the hottest of the hot.
So Pokemon stuff is easier to make money on, but the profit margins are less, as you know.
Yeah,
right?
the dollar amount, it for sure is also, but yeah, I mean the profit margins is like I said, after everything's considered, 20% is probably average.
So with sports cards, one, your time, since you already know what you're doing, your time, if you spend the same time, you'll make a higher percent profit margin with sports cards, because not only are we buying and grading just like you're doing with Pokemon, but we're playing off the swings in the market, right? So like you're buying a card, getting it graded, and the hope is by the time you get it back from grading, it's worth 20-30% more on top of it grading a 10. So Pokemon, that doesn't happen, right? Pokemon cards just kind of stay stagnant. So your time is actually better spent by buying and grading and selling sports cards. You'll make a higher percent profit margin. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to stop doing the Pokemon stuff. I would just do both, because if it's working, don't stop it.
That's kind of, I mean, I am slowly, I'm seeing the numbers make sense. I've been dabbling in it for like a month or two before I reached out, and then I'm slowly starting to increase my sports cards inventory. I've always had an interest, but it's just been purely collector since the 90s.
Yep. So follow what we tell you with the sports card stuff, and then on top of that, if you want like the best bang for your buck, either A, you'll want to get a card finder, the overseas assistant.
Okay.
So that is just maximum leverage on your time. I don't have one anymore because I don't have the time to manage them, but I used to have one working for me 8 hours a day. It cost me about $24 a day, and they're finding me 20, 30, 40 cards, and I'm buying like 3, 4, 5 cards a day from their list. And it was just maximum leverage on your time. And then number two, the best way to maximize and scale in sports cards, like making like past 10K a month with grading cards consistently is kind of hard. Like that's the most I've seen someone like consistently make. Then it's like, okay, how do you scale past that? And what do you do to do that? Well, you start buying cards already graded, because you could spend an unlimited amount of money essentially. So were you watching in the beginning of this podcast, the Jackson Chourio?
Yeah. I've been watching all.
Yeah. So that is like, once again, I just simply don't have the time to buy more. But if I did, I would have bought, not just that, but like $100,000, $200,000 worth of those cards. And I'm making a 20-30% return on it is the hope in like 3 or 4 months. But that's really good money.
I guess I'm
Go on.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, I guess I'm kind of fighting the tide there, because I'm finding that's true too. I mean, that was the same thing on the Pokemon side. It's building the relationships, going and buying out an entire vendor and getting, that 60% buy, because I'm buying everything, all the greater cards that they have. That did kind of make it a little bit easier, but that took networking, which takes more time.
It's kind of inefficient,
and so,
too. It's not predictable. I don't
right,
like things that aren't predictable.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's why sports cards is starting to look better for me, because I don't have any interest in being the YouTuber or whatnot streamer, none of that crap. I'll leave that up to you guys. Yeah, I'll leave that up to you guys. I'd rather just put my nose to the grindstone, just buy what I like, buy what's profitable, flip that and sell it on eBay in an efficient way. And that's kind of the challenge I'm finding, is like finding that business minded person. Like that's exactly what it seems like this program is, that kind of business minded person that's more focused on the efficiency instead of the, ooh, look at this Paul Skenes. Like, I want to know profit margin.
Yep,
I want to talk about sales through rate.
Yep, that is exactly what we do. So my advice to you would be just first get into grading sports cards. You'll be able to, for the same time, you should be able to make more money.
Okay.
And then next, so we only teach this. I don't know. I think you're in the academy, but in the accelerator program, which is like the next leg up, we teach you how to buy cards already graded, and like make money off vintage cards, where you could literally spend an unlimited amount of money. But my advice to you is just, you have access to the course or videos. Just go through it and start doing your thing and start working with a coach. So sports cards will be able to net you more, because more opportunity and you're playing off the volatility in the market.
Awesome. Well, I do have one last question, I guess. The volume thing, back on that, what we were talking about.
Yep.
You brought that up a few times this morning. It's the grading through SGC, because the quicker turnarounds, and I get that. But like, back to your point about the swings in the market, since football, for instance, is in a downtrend, and we know that they kind of max in that August to September range, would it be better for somebody like myself that maybe is looking for a swing rather than a quick flip, to do a PSA submission versus SGC for that? That way I get it back in that 2 to 3 month window.
Yeah. It should take you less than 2 months, but SGC is really
it's been way quicker.
Yeah, SGC is for, I'm assuming you're not broke, but SGC is if you're broke and you have like $500 to spend or $1,000 to spend. Then you just want to get your money back much faster, because you can't afford to buy cards and lay out for a month and a half. You should be sending cards to PSA.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate it. Love the content. Keep it up. Thanks so much.
All right, Chase. Thank you. Appreciate you calling in.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye-bye. I got an interesting night tonight. I think I've updated you guys on my life. So I finally have a girlfriend. I hope she's not listening to this. I think she tunes in for the first minute and gets bored and leaves. But got a girlfriend. 10 years, been single. Got a girlfriend. Meeting her mom tonight. Right? That's a big step. So I'm very curious to see what happens. Actually, I have my flaws. I have a lot of flaws, but one thing I've always been very good at, especially when I was younger, like even from like when I was like 8, 10, 12, 15 years old, parents have always liked me a lot. I've always been really good at that game. I don't know why, but it's just always been something I've been good at. It's one of my talents, getting older people to like me. So cool. Well, we went through a lot of questions. And in the chat, just call in through. I'll get to them much faster. I'm going to prioritize the people calling in because it's much more engaging. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stuff. Any questions, like I said, always feel free to reach out. Usually we do these on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. If we change up the time, we'll let you guys know, but there's a tech error on Monday. But keep buying. I'll leave you guys off with this. So I was actually on alt yesterday, because I have like 20 grand sitting in this account, and I was like, all right, like, what's ending? So they actually have some baller cards ending on auction, and you can see I actually bid on this. I probably shouldn't be showing you this, because now people are gonna bid and I'm probably gonna lose. But I like Brock Purdy because he's down a lot. This card sells for like, is that a caller? Spam. Okay. Like this. Is this spam? You can let it rip. Yeah, let it rip.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's up? What's your name?
What's up, man? PC.
PC.
What's up, brother?
What's up? How may I help? You called in a week or two ago, right?
Yeah, I called in twice. It's my third time.
Sweet. Yeah. How may I help?
Yeah. Couple quick questions. One, so I know, I think it was the guy right before, 2 questions before, but talking about scaling.
Yep.
And kind of growing. So my question is, let's say, hypothetically, you start off with 5 cards a week, $100 per card, right?
Okay.
Would you throw to, try to aim for like 10 cards a week that are $100, or throw up in the value of the card? Like, 5 cards, $200 each, and then go up like $300
Nah,
each, 400.
10 cards, $100. You'll make more money in the long run.
Why is that? Is it just the
You make a higher % profit margin on cheaper cards because they're more affordable to collectors, and they're also easier to grade because people don't want to get lower end cards. People are more resistant to getting them graded because they think it's a waste of time.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Right. Another question. So I got to what do you call it? Topps Chrome Celebration case hits back. I did pretty well on them. I have one Ellie De La Cruz Gold out of 50. Came back at PSA 10. So I saw that there was one sale of that card that did $1,000, like 1,020 on, I think it was Fanatics. So I know you're about pricing it a little under comps to sell it, but what do you think would be a good price for me to price this at? Because I'm actually opening up. I believe like a week ago.
Is yours graded?
Mine's graded. It came back at 10.
Nice. Yeah. So keep in mind the person that like Fanatics, I'm assuming they have some sort of buyer's premium or fee. So that person probably only netted like $850. I would go and sell it for $940 net.
$940. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm opening up my first table as a vendor. So this Saturday.
Nice.
So I'm trying to figure out like what's a reasonable comp to put this at. Second question is
under. Yep.
Okay. Second question is my other celebration I got. It's kind of hard to find comps for this. I did see that there was one sale. I forget exactly how much it did, but I think it was a buy now. It seemed really low. It's a Bryce Harper celebration out of 25 orange. I got a PSA 10 on that too, and I know the raws were going for like, I believe like 250, 300, and it's just kind of like it's not solidified. I think the market, just because it's a rare card, lower pop.
Yep.
I was wondering if you could just kind of help me walk through the process of like, okay, how much did I sell this for?
Yeah, it's actually very simple. So that Ellie card that sold for $1,000 that you have, what does that card sell for raw?
Raw, I mean, it's all over the place. I think around 300, 350.
Yeah, so the same multipliers because it's the same variation of cards, so it's gonna be a similar multiplier. So if it sells for 300 raw and a PSA 10's 1,000, you can 3 times that on the Bryce Harper. So
okay, okay, just because the Bryce Harper is out of 25, the Ellie's out of 50.
Yeah.
And also the Ellie's a rookie, so I'm wondering if that has to.
Yeah, so then the Ellie multiplier might be slightly higher. If I had a guess, if you sold that card to Bryce Harper on auction, it would do like 550 to 600. If I had a guess, if it sells for 250 raw.
Okay. All right, gotcha. All right, thank you. And all right. Last question. So I got cooked on some of my other submissions.
Yeah.
I think so. My first batch came back. I sent it out December 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Finally came back. I sent out a bunch of cards I shouldn't have. I just kind of got antsy and I just did it anyway. So
we've all been there.
Yeah. So I don't think they were 6s and 7s, but I got a few of those. Obviously the 6, 7s, I'm most likely going to crack, sell raw. But when it comes to 8s, if the difference between the raw and the slabs is not that much in terms of top value. Would you just try to sell it raw, or would you just try to sell it in the case, or would you, sell it raw with the potential of it going up? Like just
Yeah,
crack it anyways.
I would usually crack it and sell it and just be transparent and say this isn't going to grade a 10. It was once an 8.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey.
I'll just keep it nice and simple.
No problem. I appreciate you calling it as always. I like the updates.
All right. Take care. Thanks.
All right. You too. You too, PC. Bye-bye.
See you.
All right. So that's it for the callers. And just to leave you guys off with what I was showing you. So I obviously buy like higher end cards. And this is I came across some super nice cards. This card of Brock Purdy, I bid on. Probably, like I said, shouldn't be showing you guys this stuff, but whatever. I'm actually fascinated by this card of Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is a solid purchase for this reason. So if you look at Jordan Love Contenders Auto 2020. Wow, so this card's actually, look how much this card has fallen. This card before the season was worth so much money. And like it was like 2,200 at its peak. Didn't play as well, came crashing down. And it's leveled off at about $1,000. So I see this card just like that card of Jackson Chourio in the beginning. We can it's at its floor. It's probably not going to go down anymore, and it's only up from here, or it should be. Obviously, you never know what could happen. But which makes me interested here of Jordan Love, because I don't know. Is there another dollar? All right, let it rip. Hey, what's up, man? You got Eric?
Yes, how you doing, man? I'm just watching your live show, man. I see you got some some questions, man. Are you still live?
Yeah, I'm still live. Do you mind lowering your laptop or phone in the
Yes,
background?
yes.
I hear
That's
it.
actually my TV. Sorry about that, but
Yeah, no problem.
all right. Yeah, that could sound much better.
Yeah, no problem. What's
All right,
your question?
keep
How
doing
may I
my
help?
butt. Yeah, how you doing? Nice to meet you, man.
You
So
too.
I have about two questions or a few questions. So my first question is, okay, so I started collecting about 2 years ago. It's going on about 2 strong years. And I received a lot of these vintage cards. I watched a previous video of yours, speaking about vintage cards and the values of it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
But my question is, some of these cards that I actually received, I checked online and all the websites, and I couldn't find like some of these cards that I actually received on no web engine, whether it's eBay, market movers or sports, whatever it is. So my question to you is, how do you price cards like that you can't find online, whether it's eBay or whatever it is? How do you price cards like that?
You can find them on eBay. Unless there's no way. Yeah, you should be able to find them on eBay. All I'm doing, just so I can just share my screen and show you. It's gonna be a little delayed for you. Like if I want to see this card of Drake May, what this Disco Prism Drake May sells for on eBay, I just go to the bottom left right here, click sold items, and it'll tell me what recent sales are selling for. Or there's another website called 130 Point, and you can do the same thing. So if you click that button on the left and you just type in Drake, May, Disco, Prism, and you click enter, the recent sales will pop up right here. And this is useful. 130 Point's useful because if you look at this one right here, when you have something that's or best offer, eBay doesn't show you what it's sold for. So you look on eBay, it says $45, but you don't know what the actual offer accepted was. But 130 Point will show you. This is what I was showing you on eBay. So it says $44 on eBay, but it actually sold for $35 because this was the offer accepted. But you probably just typing in the name of the card wrong on eBay. You could definitely find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's this one particular card. Like, I probably would have to show you, but it's like this superstar MLB card. Look like he done got it personally handmade from the MLB itself. But it looked like an official MLB card with, I forgot this player name though, but it got like his autograph. It got like the MLB print in the front. It got like this certain design.
If it's like a handmade custom card, then you're not going to find it on eBay, and it's probably not worth that much.
No. I don't think it's custom. I think it's an actual card though. But I'm gonna go ahead and probably use the 130 point that you said, and definitely look it up because, like you said, probably there though. Probably I just have to check that website.
Got it.
Okay, so I'm gonna definitely use that one. Okay, and my second question is, this is a bit because I know me and a lot of people always debate about this same topic all the time. I know you probably have too. About the difference in the grading companies and the price variations. You know, so my thing is like, who came up with this whole theory of the same Drake made PSA 10 one of one, auto patch rookie on card auto, and that could be sold in a PSA 10 for whopping $10,000, let's just say. And then you turn right around the corner and see that same car in a SCG or a Gem Elite, the same exact thing for half the price. I mean, who came up with this theory that whole price thing difference? Like, why is a price thing so different like that? Like I don't think that's fair in this trading market, this game that you should have one like the same exact card price different because of every certain people or a variety of group of people think that this particular grading company is better than all. So we should get the most value money from PSA than, or because you think PSA slab is better than a Gem Elite slab. Like, why? Like, who came up with that theory?
Well, no one came up with it. It's just what the market demands. Like a Google stock sells for more than some stock of a bullshit company. Why? Well, people believe in Google more and they trust them more, right? So it's the same concept. It's just what the market demands. And people trust PSA much more than other grading companies because they've been more reliable. They've been around for a long time. So it's not, no one came up with it. It's just people speak with their money and people are willing to pay more for PSA 10s because they trust the company more. That's all it is.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people who kind of like, are kind of against that, you know what I'm saying? So I try to tell them, like, maybe if we start this new trend, maybe if we everybody just stop following this PSA thing or whatever. I mean, I know everybody follows the PSA, but we start a new trend of just, marketing, the grading company that for what we think is the same price as a PSA. If we start that trend, then maybe everybody will start respecting all these other companies, whether you think the grading company is cheaper than a PSA or you know what I'm saying? So, what if we just start that new trend? And maybe everybody will feel good because I notice a lot of people are sitting on the same cars that's in a PSA 10, and they probably have it like in a Gem Elite, for maybe online on eBay selling for like $60 and then they see it in a PSA 10 selling for like $1,000. And it's like, yo, bro, that's very discouraging sometimes to some collectors.
It's just free. It's just free market. That's just how it goes.
So I think, so I'm gonna try to start that new trend, man. If I can start that new trend,
let
man.
Let me know how it goes. If you make some headway, you let me know.
All right, my brother. Thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for calling in. Bye bye. Okay, we gotta cut the callers off because I've been on here too long. But anyways, to drive home my point, yeah, like this card of Brock Purdy looks like a nice purchase. I bid on that. I also bid on something else. I bid on another card. I think it was I bid on this card of CJ Stroud. I think it's a solid purchase. Once again, he's really low. Bid on this card of Jordan Love. This is actually the one I probably want the most. I'm gonna make some pretty decent money on this. I think this card sells for like $1,000 at the moment, I think. But we'll see. Hopefully this episode gets released. Oh yeah, it'll be okay. There's 1 day left, so these auctions will be over by the time it gets released. But just some random cards and bidding on some stuff that I think is cheap right now that I think will go up in value. Just taking that Jackson Chourio money that I sold and then just rolling it right over. Sports cards is an amazing game like that because it's really good and you can make some pretty solid returns. But I got to end this bad boy. Wish me luck tonight meeting my girlfriend's mom. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys updated for those of you guys who care. I'll probably write it in one of my emails. But if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Any questions? Usually it's Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. You could call into the number you see below, or if it's on YouTube, we'll put it in the description somewhere. And I'll see you guys next time.